right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick recap of the game. All right. Despite the bye week, the Cowboys did not appear rusty as they opened the game with a traditional three and out. However, the team broke through the freeze with an impressive 17-play, 83-yard touchdown drive, followed by a Tank Lawrence forced fumble on the Packers' next possession. As the home crowd felt that familiar sense of dread, Dak Prescott, with the help of miscommunication, rallied the crowd when he threw not one, but two interceptions in back to back drives. Fortunately, the Cowboys in the half tied at 14. By the end of the third, the Cowboys imposed their will with another forced fumble and two more touchdowns. But it was all for naught. In the fourth quarter, Aaron Rodgers heroically declared, "Christmas begins in November," and the green and yellow ghost of football past haunted the Cowboys once again. Supported by the defense and rookie Christian Watson doing his best Randy Moss impression, the Packers scored 17 unanswered to eventually win in overtime. Mike McCarthy's rage was on full display by the end, although one has to wonder why. The team did play his brand of complementary football when both the offense and the defense mutually collapsed in the final 15 minutes. Fellas, it is flu season, so let me take your temperature. How would y'all summarize the game?
Is that Ian Cronkite, man, acting like the Heilenberg just blew up. But
Oh, hey, let me get my glasses.
Hendon?
JFK is
yeah, the Hindenburg. I'm sorry. Yeah, like man was reading that as if he just declaring that the world was coming to an end. That World War III just got kicked off or something. But the temperature, they're fine.
Yeah. To quote a wise man, or maybe just a man, depending on what you think of him, RELAX. Relax. It's been so. I've heard so many dramatic takes and seen stuff on Twitter. Blow up the team, trade Mike. It's ridiculous. It is insane. You're in Lambeau. It's freezing. You did put up 28 points on them, and then you did collapse. That fourth quarter was miserable to watch. So, I mean, my main takeaway is just that, like Justin has said in the past, it's the NFL. The other team gets paid to come out and play as well. I don't think that we were. I don't think we're a bad team. Clearly, it just was one of those days.
It's good to hear y'all say that because after the game I was feeling pretty down. But this idea of Cowboys Nation believing this team has loser mentality or loser in the blood is ridiculous. But let me go ahead and take it down to probably the big names that are getting questioned after this game. Dak Prescott. He had quite the roller coaster game. I mean, he had the two picks, and then he also had a really nice second and third quarter, and then ended it with nothing. Now, personally, I honestly would have been fine with this lack of his production in the fourth quarter if he didn't have those two picks. I was actually really impressed. Well, not impressed, but I was satisfied with the stat line. What do y'all think? Do you think he deserves the bulk of the blame or what?
No, but I also don't. What I was really liking when we were doing offensively was running the ball. And you saw it with not just Pollard, but Davis got some good carries in there too. The draw was working fantastic for him. If anything, I would look at Kellen Moore wondering, like, why did you go away from that? I don't look at Dak. His two interceptions were in the first half. I can't blame him 2 quarters later for that. Like, we had plenty of time to make that up. And we did make it up. We were leading by 2 scores after the 2 interceptions. We dropped the ball after that. That's not on Dak.
Considering Rudy's point that they scored 21 straight points after the 2 turnovers, and obviously say what you want about the turnovers, but I think most people can agree that he doesn't share over 40% of the blame on those turnovers. But I mean, I get it. It's just, oh man, $40 billion and he sucks. He just threw it right to him. But I guess, man, straw man, low hanging fruit argument. But is there a time, quite honestly, to be concerned? No. I mean, if you're being honest, I didn't have really that big of a problem with those turnovers. I know, wow, what it take. But however, what's the one thing that people always love to criticize Dak about, or he can't do, is he can't throw with anticipation. He's just waiting for the routes to come open. Da 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 da. I mean, if those turnovers tell you anything, it's actually that he's reading the defense, which he always does well, and that he's throwing with anticipation. Just the other half of the bargain just didn't hold her in. Whether it be CD or whether it be Schultz, I mean, you should quite honestly be wanting your quarterback to be throwing those type of balls where he's anticipating a receiver being somewhere or hoping that throwing into a spot knowing that, hey, it's going to be a tough collision, and because it's the NFL, bro. You can't just wait for this to be college open and just expect you to keep constantly getting those looks. You need your quarterback to be able to hit those throws. And the fact of the matter is, like, yeah, say what you want about maybe the goal line one, but I think it has a chance if there is some sort of spacing between your receivers. And then the second one, man, that's wide open if CD does what he's supposed to do. So yeah, I think you could take that. I know I'm the optimist, but you could take that however way you want to. I think it's a good thing, quite honestly. It's just unfortunate that it happened.
Yeah, I feel like Prescott probably needs to strike a balance between doing what he's doing, because you don't want to coach it out of him to just be conservative, but also maybe like live to like fight another down. I mean, I thought a field goal there really would have
Tell that to the
made a
play
difference
caller
in the
too.
game.
Tell that to the play
Yeah,
caller.
no,
too.
you're definitely right. Both you guys brought up interesting points, but I want to keep on the offensive side of the ball regarding the receiving core. Now, CD Lamb did have a nice game in the stat line, but there was a couple of mental gaffes, not just by him. Gallup was a non-factor down in crunch time. Lamb and Schultz had that miscommunication. Justin, you brought that up on the interception. Tolbert lining 2 yards offsides in the critical situation part of the game. Is there something wrong in the receiving core? Are they missing something? And is it internal, or will this all go away if we go ahead and get a big name player?
I mean, they're already telling you what they think, no? By all this pandering for Odell. So I mean, yeah, like call it what it is. Like there is a problem, but is it a problem that's gonna prevent you from getting where you are? I don't think so. But like, yeah, like it could cost you. Like you saw like big stat line game for CD, but you could argue that a turnover is attributed to him. So I don't know. I think CD Lamb played all that aside. I think CD Lamb played a game where, okay, we always have this phrase, is he a true number one receiver? I think that game kind of proved to you that he is, because he was dominant, in my opinion, throughout that entire game, turnover aside, just because of the type of catches he was making. I mean, run the same route again, the same concept again in overtime, and he actually executes it, and he makes a tough catch over the middle with contact where not a lot of receivers are willing to make that type of catch and take that type of hit. And you would be looking back at it had they finished that as, oh man, what a clutch catch by CD in that moment. And obviously you saw the second touchdown, clutch catch before that, the touchdown drive before that. So there is a problem, but I think you could walk away from that game thinking that, yes, CD Lamb is someone that, hey, I feel comfortable paying next year as a number one.
So CeeDee Lamb's talent is obviously there. I need him and Dak to get on the same page, just because it's not the first time. We saw it against Chicago. The odds are it'll probably happen again in the next 5-6 games, whatever. And dude, we lost yesterday on Sunday by, what was it, 3 points, right? 2 turnovers that were both preventable, in my opinion. One of them could have been a touchdown if Schultz clears out. The other one, CD should have gone in front of the safety when he doesn't. I don't blame those as like the reasons we lose the game, but those are opportunities we could have had to win the game in a way.
Certainly. Also, I would say CeeDee Lamb was also robbed of an opportunity to make a game-altering play on a potential pass interference called. I mean, he has that play there. He's beat his man, and Jair Alexander gets there early, so denying another opportunity.
And one more thing before you move on, Ian, I want to throw this out there. What do the numbers 725 and 706 mean to you?
They're both in the 700s.
Okay, well, 725 is the amount of receiving yards A.J. Brown, a true number one wide receiver, has, and 706 is the amount of yards C.D. Lamb has. Plus, I think Brown has 6 touchdowns, Lamb has 5. So, for all his faults throughout this entire year, that's good production. So I feel like it needs to be addressed at least about somewhat above the halfway point of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Moving on to the defensive side of the ball. I maintain throughout the season that we don't have a run defense problem. I think that's something we choose to give up. And if we, I know I was poo-pooing complimentary football in the open, but if it's executed how it's supposed to be, I think the run defense will take care of itself. And the biggest problem with the big plays that were given up early in the first half on Anthony Brown and the the fourth down touchdown on Deron Bland. So, with that being said, what do you guys think are the biggest problems? What is wrong with this defense? If there is anything wrong with this defense, is it the run game? Is it the injuries? Or is it, the lack of, even call it depth?
Well, I think, just directly talking about the run defense, I believe it was McCarthy after the game saying that they're adjusting their focus because essentially the entire defensive line's headhunting, looking for sacks and not focusing enough on the run. So I think that's a clear admission from the head coach saying, yeah, we need to work on this. This is an issue right now. Of course, there is injury issues. Seeing Deron Bland get burned, that's miserable too. So there's that as well. Justin, when you saw that game, what was your takeaway on the defense when it came to run defense and injury issues?
So, yes, there is a problem with the run defense. Is it a problem that's going to plague you throughout to make you ultimately lose games? That's could still up in the air, in my opinion, because, just stay with me, I don't yes, technically giving up 200 whatever yards they gave up on the ground, disgusting football. That is losing football. That will get you lose you a lot of football games. However, all that aside, you sitting there with how many minutes in the fourth quarter? About 7, and you got 4th and 7, up 14, and you have an opportunity in a clear passing situation to make a play that would essentially end that game. Over the past year, over the whole course of the season, they've been making that play. They just didn't make that play on Sunday. So, yeah, that's concerning, all those rushing yards, but the opportunity was still there, even giving up all those rushing yards, where you still could have made the play to win the game.
Well, and
with that 14-point lead.
A forgotten play on that last drive in the fourth quarter was Kelvin Joseph knocking the ball loose, and it just happened to bounce right back to Aaron Jones. But that literally would have won us the game, essentially. That happens.
Yeah, Justin, that is definitely the down and distance that you have been looking for probably throughout the game. And like you said, throughout the season is what you want the quarterback to be passing and cutting your pass rushers loose and someone just make a play. Quickly, do you guys think injuries are an issue on the defense, or will that?
I think they'll be back. Anthony Brown's probably going to play in Minnesota. Anthony Barr is probably going to play in Minnesota. So it is what it is. They're going to be back. It's no one's gone.
Yeah, so long as it's like normal wear and tear injuries, it's okay. It's expected of an NFL season. So, I'm trying not to be too concerned, but the backups can hoe us too. So, I don't know.
Yeah, as we saw on display. Speaking of injuries, I'm not sure what Zeke's status is for the Minnesota game, but Rudy, you did mention the run game looked good, and I thought that was evident with the old line as well as the two running backs back there. But I think this offense still is missing that calm presence in the backfield was that Zeke brings and that confidence. So if he is back in Minnesota, I think that'll make a big difference.
Yeah, and I
You guys have
mean,
anything else?
no, I mean, I think touching on Minnesota, I don't know, man. I know they beat Buffalo, and like obviously everyone got that bad taste in their mouth that they just lost to the boogeyman, quote unquote, and Aaron Rodgers. But like I think they match up pretty well with Minnesota in the sense that that defense is kind of old and slow. And I mean, say what you want. Yes, Dalvin Cook they're going to run the ball. Dalvin Cook is a good running back. But at the end of the day, I think that team just can't help themselves when it comes to passing the ball. And I think this is a matchup that you always play well against Kirk Cousins. And I know that like it goes beyond the quarterback and yada yada yada, but I think you have to have the confidence in thinking. I think the last 3 times that they've gone up there, they've won all 3 times and twice with backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, and to address so Minnesota just beat Buffalo, and that has a lot of Cowboys fans scared to play them as well. And we can touch on it more when we get to around the NFL. But you watch that game, Buffalo, it was all running, and they had a QB whose right elbow was barely working. So like while they're passing the ball, okay, that was a very limited offense, and they put up solid numbers at the beginning of the game. Really, it was up until the fourth quarter, I believe. But they did good, and they were very limited. Our quarterback's elbow is working, and we run the hell out of the ball too. So I honestly do think, like Justin said, we match up pretty well with Minnesota.
Yeah, it's interesting you guys say matchups. I know I'm just kind of feeling off the last game, but Minnesota has proven to finish strong. Not just against Buffalo, they did against Washington, and the receiving core I think is much better than Green Bay's is with
Man, Heineke wanted to give that game away.
That could
bro.
be some issues.
Bro, I'm telling you, dude, that secondary led by Pat Pete, old and slow, bro. Like just a bunch of names out there with him and Harrison Smith. I think much is made about like yes, was Minnesota being disrespected a little bit too much before they beat Buffalo? Yes. Are Cowboys fans? Because I think Vegas still believes that the Cowboys are better with the line, and then I think the rest of the national media is like, no, it's still Minnesota. They get giving out excuses to Buffalo, but that's neither here nor there. But yes, Cowboys fans are giving Minnesota a little bit too much props in the sense that they're far and away better. No, I don't even think they're better at all than Dallas. So the goal should have been split these 2 road games between Minnesota and Green Bay, and I think you're going to be at ease when they do beat Minnesota come Sunday. Well, speaking of Buffalo, Minnesota, I told Rudy, what was the question I posed last week?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, to remind people again, could Buffalo lose the?
Hold on, I think I know what this is. Is this what Justin guaranteed? Put money on such and such because such and such is going to win.
Yeah. That's also true. We're still undefeated, by the way. Like I said, if y'all want to win money, you listen to this pod. But we'll get to that later in the pick'ems. But the question I posed to y'all was, could Buffalo lose the AFC East? And boy, if you weren't already thinking
just
that,
about doing
it, yeah, because what an embarrassing effort by Well, okay, let me relax. It's against a 9-1 team. However, the lose in that fashion, very nasty. You fumble the ball and gift them a touchdown, and then you tie it again, sending it to OT, and then Kirky Cousins does what he does and somehow doesn't get a touchdown inside the 2. and they gotta settle for the field goal, and you get the ball again and driving, and then you throw a stinky pick in the end zone. Boy,
I mean,
that
it was the corpse of Pat Peterson back there
oh my
lurking.
oh my word! I was told that this team could do no wrong. That this team, you know, you might as well just give them the Super Bowl right now. But
Oh, I didn't even know Josh Allen could throw interceptions. I thought he was the GOAT. He might as well have hurdled Pat P while catching his own pass the way that they talk about him. Like, this is exactly what I wanted to see, if I'm being honest. I love it. I'm very happy to see. Now, it comes at the cost of a potential another Kirk Cousins image. But whatever. I don't care.
I'll take it.
I'm tired of that MVP talk after week 3 that it's going to Josh Allen. Get out of here.
oh, that agenda's in the dumpster. I think that man smoked it away.
Nah, it's not in the dumpster.
They're going to find a way to resurrect it.
If I could submit Exhibit A, just to recap, in the second half, the man put up 6 points, fumbled the snap to let the Vikings take the lead, and then, as Justin said, threw an interception. I mean, what kind of MVP is this? All at home, by the way.
All at home, yeah.
Another, I think also another nasty home performance. That Monday night game. And again, I was told that, who's going to beat this team, man? Look at their schedule. Just give them a division, give them a trip to the Super Bowl, and, give Jalen Hurts the MVP. And boy, did they stink it up on Monday night. And we talk about the Cowboys run defense. Take a guess how many yards the football team, the Commanders rushed for?
200.
Boy, you in the neighborhood. I gotta find the official stat. But I know. I should have had this written down well in advance. This is bad radio. Just looking at what I can find, and it's the eye test alone told me a lot. You got a man that was shot months ago, running ramp shot. And, here we go. 152 yards rushing to the Commanders. Boy, if I was told that this is a vaunted Eagles defense, that they can't do no wrong. And they let the Commanders, despite Taylor Heineke begging to give the game away,
Well, before someone calls into the show to beat our ass, Jordan Davis was out, but
I don't care.
That still was no excuse. That was bad rush defense.
I don't care. One man that plays like 10 snaps a game ain't making that much of a difference, bro. Give me a break. Last week, too, they let Houston run for 168. Again, as much as we bang on the Cowboys, the two teams right there that we just highlighted played absolutely terrible against the run on Sunday. Absolutely abysmal. Both Buffalo and the Eagles.
Yeah, but no one's calling for them to blow the team up, Justin. Only us.
And like I said,
it blows my mind, honestly. But I know I mentioned earlier when talking about the Cowboys, the other team gets paid to play, and Washington certainly does as well. But the way that I think Scary Terry had over 115 yards receiving, something like that, 130 yards about. There was no defense to be played by the Philadelphia Eagles. Absolutely none. And I think we said it, or at least I know I felt it after we played them, but that ain't a team to fear. A bunch of slant routes with A.J. Brown doesn't scare me. They looked how I really felt like they should, honestly.
And to end the game in true, as they would say, true Cowboys fashion, on a penalty, woo, a turnover and a penalty, and that boy Dallas Goedert out for a couple weeks, man.
Yeah.
Man, fire it up, bro. I don't know. They got the Colts coming into town this week. They be running the rock. Jeff Saturday said we got to establish the run. So that man,
His name might be Saturday, but he shows up on Sunday.
Boy, you saw.
Yeah, I'll see myself out. All right,
Las Vegas got to look in the mirror though. That's
Justin.
That's the worst team in the NFL.
Something suspicious is going on in Las Vegas. I think that man Josh McDaniels said, "You know what? I can bet within the stadium. Let me just go ahead and bet against my own team each Sunday." There's no way this team not only is only 2-7 and pooping it in the AFC, but to lose to Jeff Saturday's Colts, the biggest joke out there. Whew, that was embarrassing.
And then the report coming out today that they can't fire him because they broke. I mean, we knew that because there's a reason why they moved for a reason, but injury to insult, in my opinion. But
embarrassing. One
last thing, though, and I think we should touch on this now that we're halfway through the season. Can we? They will never do this. Can we please? Can we please not give the MVP to a quarterback this year?
Oh, you know it's gonna happen.
Stop. You
know it's gonna happen,
bro. My top two right now is Tyreek Hill or Saquon Barkley. To what they're doing for their teams, and
I get what you're saying.
If Cooper Kupp didn't get it last year, ain't no way Tyreek gonna get it. With all due respect.
Well, maybe Cooper Kupp
the writers
last year. It's time for a change, and the only way that's gonna happen is someone makes it. Shout out Michael Jackson, but I'm sorry, but the top two MVP has to be those two. I mean, nobody expected the Giants to do this. They're 7-2 right now. The man is leading the league in rushing, if I'm not mistaken. He does it all. He's doing everything for them to win these games. And then Tyreek Hill, man, they said Tua was cooked until they dropped that man over there. And now they talking about Tua being an MVP candidate. Gee, I wonder why that is. I wonder why they didn't just. It's not like they dropped a top 3 wide receiver onto the roster, and now all of a sudden the quarterback's a lot better. Who would have thought? So, I mean, I think those two are more than well deserving, but it sounds like y'all got a quarterback in mind. So what?
I think the writers are either going to go broken elbow, Mahomes, or Jalen.
Broken elbow? Oh, you mean Josh Allen?
Yeah.
Broken elbow. I mean, personally, I would just like to see Lamar Jackson get it, but I don't want to give him that MVP curse. So
he ain't getting that, bro. He ain't getting no MVP. I'm sorry that if they're gonna give it to a repeat,
well, that's why I said
repeat MVP. It's gonna be Mahomes, unfortunately. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said personally, but I would like to see Saquon get it just so the running backs don't matter committee can take a massive L. That would be better.
The writers are behind the running back doesn't matter committee. Like they are.
This is ridiculous.
And they're the voters. They're not.
No. And y'all can throw the argument of, oh, well, Jonathan Taylor, he didn't win it last year. Well, they ain't also make the playoffs last year either. And it's, barring some colossal failure, I think the Giants are going to comfortably. I think they're going to make the playoffs, guys. Like,
yeah.
Hey, bada bing.
All right, boys. Week 11 of the NFL season. It's time for the pick'ems. Ian, why don't you update us on where we stand?
Well, there's a little shuffling in the order last week, but not at the bottom because once again, bringing up the rear.
God,
it's Rudy Guerra.
Turn off the podcast. I'm done. God,
six wins. And then in second place was your boy with 7, and Justin lead the pack with 8 wins.
Hey, everyone listening, this is why you don't follow the pack. You heard it last week when we were picking games. I didn't want to do it, and I'm sitting with 6 wins now. Disgusting.
I mean, you only lost by 2 games.
Follow your heart, people. Don't be influenced by others. All right. Week 11 of the NFL season, we're going to start with Thursday Night Football, where the Tennessee Titans travel to Lambeau to take on the Packers. Who do y'all got?
The Titans. I can confidently say the Titans. Don't let Green Bay fool y'all. Like,
I don't know. Yeah, I'll take the Titans.
All right, folks. This is where I start the comeback. Give me Green Bay. Oh, why did I just say that? That's disgusting. All right, moving on. Sunday, Bears traveling to Atlanta, take on the Falcons. Who y'all got there?
give me Atlanta.
Pretty much the same team.
Give me Atlanta, I suppose.
I will take the Bears.
I too will take the Bears. And moving on, we've got the Eagles traveling to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Fellas, who you got?
The Eagles, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff Saturday's career is 500 for a reason, so I'll take the Eagles.
Yeah. I'll take the Eagles
Wait,
too.
we're doing records for sinners now. What?
No,
I don't
as a
know
head
any other.
coach. He's like
I mean-
500
Okay.
as a head coach.
Oh, you talking
In
about high school? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was like, wow, what an obscure stat, I suppose. But
All right, moving on. We've got the Jets traveling to New England, taking on the Patriots. Who you got?
the Jets. Although, no, the Jets. You know it's gonna be close.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to bet against Bill Belichick when he's playing a bum like Zach Wilson, but I think the rest of the Jets can take care of business, so give me the Jets.
Hey, y'all at home, y'all see this comeback, baby. Patriots, y'all see this comeback. Let's go. Easy money. Moving on. We've got the Commanders traveling to Houston to take on the Texans. Who y'all got there?
The Commanders.
Give me a Washington football team.
Yeah, give me the Commanders. Moving on. We've got the Rams traveling to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Who do y'all have there?
Is Stafford playing?
Does it
Oh, I
matter?
don't think so. I'm not
Cooper
sure.
Kupp ain't playing, bro.
True.
Give me New Orleans.
Yeah, I too will take Nola.
I 3 will take Nola. All right, moving on. Browns taking on the Bills in Buffalo. Who do y'all have?
I don't have either because we lose because it's a nasty snow game and that shouldn't exist. Yet
What a
Buffalo is
hater.
willing to pay all this taxpayer money to build another outdoor stadium. That's the true losers right here. The taxpayers of Buffalo that have to endure this even well into after this game. But give me Buffalo nonetheless.
Okay. Ian?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to bet against Nick Chubb in the snow, but I guess I'll take Buffalo.
I too will take Buffalo. Moving on. We've got the Panthers traveling to Baltimore. Take on the Ravens. Who do y'all got there?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Rudy, because well, no, we ain't got no sounder yet.
The honorable is in session.
But this is again, I've been telling y'all every week. What's the record, Rudy? 4-0? Yeah, 4-0 right now against these spreads, bro. If you want to win money, you listen to us, bro. You listen to the pick of the week. And this is the pick of the week.
Bro, Justin's about to start peddling FTX Bitcoin.
Last week, I told y'all not only would the Vikings cover the spread, but that they would win it straight out. And guess what? They did, bro. This week ain't gonna be that declarative. But however, the spread currently is at 13 points. And bro, we all big fans of Lamar at this podcast. But we know what the Ravens are, man. They ain't closing out no team. They ain't winning no team. They ain't beating no team by double digits. I know they beat New Orleans last week by double digits. But you know that team's MO. They play around and they make it close for no stupid reason. So Panthers are covering, Ravens are winning.
Okay. Ian?
Yeah, give me the Fighting Lamar Jacksons.
I too will say Lamar Jackson wins this one. Moving on, we have the Fighting Dan Campbells traveling to New Jersey to take on the Giants. Who y'all got there?
The Giants.
Yeah, the Giants keep on winning.
Yeah. All right. Giants, whatever. Moving on. We've got the Raiders. They'll be traveling to Denver to take on the Broncos.
Whoa,
who do y'all got in this matchup?
This is something. This is a game. My heart is telling me Las Vegas, but I don't believe that. That team. There's a reason why my man, me and Ian's guy, Carr, was crying at the podium. This is tough. It's tough to watch.
The passion of the car is at the altar, and nothing's gonna change in Sin City.
You mean Calgary, but or Calvary? I'm sorry. Yeah. You should not. I should know that, but yeah, it's sick.
Hey, nice.
But unfortunately, I believe Russell Wilson is gonna get it done. So Broncos. I'm sorry.
I think last time Derek Carr won the Battle of Jesus award against Russell Wilson, but I think this time he ain't playing favorites. Give me no miracle could save him. Give me the Broncos.
Broncos. Yeah, I'll say the Lord's light shines upon Russell in Denver. They're closer to the sky anyway. It's not a lot of distance to get to them. Denver's going to win this one. Moving on, we've got the Cowboys traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Who will win that one?
Let's go Dallas. Why not?
I'm kind of tempted to take the Vikings just so I can be happy either way with the result. But you know what? I can't bet against them boys.
All right. Well, I hope it's not the case that I gain ground on y'all, but I probably will. Give me the Vikings. Moving on. We've got the Bengals traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Who do y'all got there?
Oh, is this the game that got flexed out? Yeah, it is. The Bengals. Ugh.
Yeah, there's no way they poo-poo this game away like they did in week 1. Give me the Bengals.
Yeah, Bengals for me as well.
Although TJ Watt's back, but I think Minka's
still Bengals for me. All right. Pretty big news.
He's hurt, bro. But go ahead, Rudy. I'm sorry.
Okay. Sunday Night Football. We have the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to LA to take on the Chargers.
Bro, Justin.
Who do y'all got there?
Are you kidding me? Why? Why did they?
Why they put the Chargers back on there?
Bro, they
were so boring in that Thursday night game too.
They flexed this game. Like I'd much rather keep that nasty AFC North matchup than watch this tomfoolery.
You want Kenny Pickett on primetime?
Do you want Brandon Staley on primetime again?
His quarterback's the reason they're on primetime, not the egghead who decides not to go to the playoffs.
Bro, he always be doing something stupid to lose a game against Kansas City. So why on earth would I pick him this time? He be the same script happens every single time with this dude against this team. They be dominating the game and then they do something stupid to lose it. Do something stupid at the end, led by that man. So give me Kansas City. Ugh.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs. And lastly, Monday Night Football, where the 49ers will be traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Who do y'all got there?
Oh, all these 49er primetime games, man. Like, this is like the fourth or fifth. I'm exaggerating, but this is like another time that they're on Monday Night Football. Like,
The NFL loves the AFC and NFC West.
ugh.
They love them.
Give me San Francisco.
Yeah, give me the Niners.
Yeah, I too take the Niners.
No Kyler Murray on Call of Duty opening weekend, Rudy.
Nah, he's gonna come up short.
Boo. Anything else? All right, let's get out.